Look at your head up.
Oh, duels in a salad.
Oh, duels in a salad, that's good.
Yeah.
I love that. That's me.
Violent Nature by Tina Barry. Sky, 28. Curly, dirty blonde hair, wearing a black wife beater tank top, cargo pants, and has bare feet. She's covered in dirt. Caitlyn, 31. Messy brown hair and stubble, wearing ripped khakis, a dirty white t-shirt, and beat-up Nike sneakers. He's covered in dirt. Lights up on Sky. She is sitting in an armchair reading an old history text. She's very focused on her reading, very concerned. The fireplace is lit. After a moment, Caleb enters. He is slow-moving, hesitant.
Sky, can I talk to you about something?
Of course. She gestures towards a nearby chair. He sits.
We need to consider the possibility of going to war.
Silence. Sky is in shock. Caleb waits.
No.
That's it? No. You're not even going to listen to my reasoning.
Going to war is literally against everything we believe in.
Everything you believe in.
What are you talking about? Just the other day we were discussing a new strategy to spread our peace movement. You were the one who gave me this book documenting the war of the early 2000s.
She tosses the book into Caleb's lap.
You told me the information in here is the key to a peaceful future. Remember? Learned the history?
To prevent repetition. I know what I said.
Then what's changed?
Peace isn't working.
He drops the text on a nearby table.
We need a better tactic.
War isn't a tactic change, it's a moral change.
Then maybe we have to consider changing our morals.
Changing? What happened to you?
The only way to end the war is to win it.
And by win it, you mean kill innocent people for no reason other than the fact that they look different than we do.
We'd be saving our people, though, our friends and family.
They have friends and family too. We are all humans. We all have emotions. We all feel pain. We all have people who we care about and who cares about us.
So you're willing to sacrifice the people we love for people you don't even know.
I'm trying to save everyone. Caleb, we've talked about this. We talk about this all the time. It's the reason that we created the peace revolution.
People aren't being saved. We're just stalling their inevitable deaths.
A problem this big can't be fixed overnight.
She picks up the book.
This is a problem that began long before we were even born.
How much have you read?
I'm about halfway through.
Then you haven't gotten to the part where the fighting stopped, where the West won the fight, and in doing so, gained control and the fighting stopped.
If we really won, why are people still dying? If we really won, we wouldn't be at war for the same reasons we were a few hundred years ago.
Life is a continuous game, Sky. It's full of puzzles and problems to solve, a never-ending cycle of winning and losing. The only way to win is to play the game right.
Real people's lives are at stake.
I know that.
Then stop comparing the situation to a game. This isn't a
I
fucking
didn't
game.
say it's a game. People don't die in a game.
We have a shipment of food coming in tomorrow. We live in this abandoned library that you found that fits all of us. No one is getting sick from sleeping out in the cold on the streets. No one has gotten seriously ill or has died in the last 3 months.
Well, like the last 3 hours.
Who?
Jen.
That's impossible. She was with the team getting food. They aren't even back yet.
They came back a day early.
Why wasn't I notified?
They sent me to tell you.
Emmett was leading. He should have come to me the second they got back.
He was too busy tending to the wounded. They were ambushed.
It was a routine run set far away from every war
They
zone.
happened upon some soldiers from the east who were combing the city. They were unarmed. They couldn't even protect themselves because you don't let anyone here own weapons.
Weapons lead to a temptation to violence.
And lack of security measures lead to 3 seriously wounded and 1 dead. My wife's dead, Sky, and it's all your fault.
I have always been so careful when organizing food runs.
Jen knew how to shoot a pistol. If you'd only allowed her and everyone else to carry precautionary weapons during
I
the
have
runs.
my reasons for not allowing weapons.
How are we supposed to protect ourselves when violence comes to us?
We peacefully surrender. We beg for peace and justice for people not fighting in this war.
They don't give a fuck about peace, Sky. If we had surrendered, everyone would have been dead in seconds.
Then we need to think of a new angle.
We pick up weapons and fight.
No!
What will you have us do then, other than make flower crowns, hand out colorful flyers with phrases on them like, peace today leads to a happier tomorrow? You can't be a strong leader and be soft.
I am being strong. Enlisting in the army is the easiest option, not the right one. Everything I stand for wouldn't matter anymore. Just like all of the soldiers, east and west, I'd become a drone. If I don't fight for the peace revolution, no one will.
That's what you're afraid of. Losing yourself. I lost Jen. We need to be strong, stronger than them. We need to fight back.
Steering into the skid.
We'll be safe.
At what cost? I found something you need to see.
Sky goes over to the desk and picks up a computer chip. She throws open a computer screen. A projection appears on the back wall. After tapping some on-screen buttons, a video file appears. She plays it.
I stumbled upon it when I was looking into more past wars.
The book wasn't enough.
They're in a helicopter using 30mm cannon fire on innocent civilians. Do you hear that? Do you fucking hear that?
They're laughing.
I know.
We aren't like that.
Caleb, we are them, just 500 years in the future.
I would never kill innocent people, and I wouldn't laugh. Will you please turn that off?
She doesn't.
The Caleb that walked into this room not long ago will become like the men in this video, and I'm terrified of that happening.
I would never...
You came to me to talk of changing our moral beliefs and act on violent impulses. You suffered a loss, and it opened up a side of you that I've never seen before. With regrets, heartache, and vengeance on your mind, I believe you would become like these men, which gives us even more of a reason to stay on the path of the peace revolution.
What happened to Jen? Those men need to pay for what they did. You can't tell me they don't deserve to die.
No one deserves to die.
Caleb runs to the computer screen and starts typing something in. In a moment, security footage appears. Sky watches the footage of the ambush on the food run. Caleb turns away from the screen right before Jen drops. This video footage has been silent up until the gunshot that killed her.
Some people do. Give me 15 volunteer soldiers. They'll be taught how to fight, armed, and then I'll have them patrol the library. I'll have 5 on each supply run outside of the library.
How would you teach them? We don't have any weapons on the premises, and you don't even know how to fight.
No, but you do. One night about a week ago, I followed you. Does anyone else know you train in the woods about a mile from here? Where'd you learn to fight?
It was what our parents wanted, not what we chose for ourselves. I learned hand-to-hand combat when I was 12, and when I turned 16, I was trained with weapons.
I don't understand. If you grew up with it, why are you so against
I
it?
killed someone. There was never enough food to go around, just like now, and some people were more desperate than others. One night, a man broke into our house and tried to steal our food. He wasn't very stealthy about it, so I woke up, and when I tried to confront him in my kitchen, he attacked me. All I wanted was to get him off me, but I underestimated my own strength. I threw him against a wall, just the right spot where there's a thick beam behind the drywall. All of a sudden, he was bleeding from the head and dying on my kitchen floor. It was then that I realized that strength can be a threat if not controlled, and I was seriously out of control. I'll never forget that man's face.
Stealing food from people who have so little. If you ask me, he deserved it.
I didn't ask you.
You should be proud. You were able to protect your family. Let's say you tried to persuade this man to leave, but he ran through the house instead and killed every one of them.
He didn't.
But what if he did?
They're dead now, so my life wouldn't be any different.
How?
Like Jen.
Shot. Doesn't that make you angry? Were they unarmed too? Did you force your family to go in unarmed?
They were armed and trained in combat just like me. When you fight fire with fire, you just get burned.
At least they had a fighting chance.
But it didn't matter in the end. Violence on violence only leads to death, and death can't be the answer.
It's a war. People die. The only thing we can do is make sure it's not our people.
Their people are just as important as ours.
How can you say that when they killed your family?
I have to think that way. It's the right thing to do.
Who dictates what's right and what's wrong? They killed Jen, they killed your family. They don't think we're important. We're dirt to them. The right thing to do is to blame them, not defend them.
I'm not defending
You
them.
continuously advocate for peace and refuse to defend the people you care about. You may as well have handed them over to the West to be slaughtered like animals.
No, that's not what I want.
It seems to me like you wanted them to die.
They were my family. I loved them more than anything in the world.
Would you like to see what happened? I'm sure I can find the surveillance footage of their fight.
Caleb goes towards the computer screen. Sky gets in front of him and shoves him away.
What makes you think I would want to see that?
Clearly don't care that they died. Maybe if you saw it happen, it would spark some empathy within you.
You're a sadistic
I'm
fuck.
not the one who purposefully placed my family in front of the barrel of a gun.
Sky punches him.
Shut up!
I'm only speaking the truth.
Sky punches him again, but this time he dodges and shoves her away. She walks towards him. He goes to punch her, but she dodges and goes to punch him in the stomach. Before she can, he grabs her and elbows her. He shoves her away.
You can't use the pacifist card anymore. You're loving this.
This time he makes the first move. He jumps towards her with a punch, knowing she will dodge it. When she does, he spins around and kicks her in the stomach. She falls against the desk. He approaches her and punches her again. She successfully dodges this time and pins his shoulders and head to the desk.
Stop it, Caleb.
What, you can dish it out, but you can't take it?
You know I don't want to fight.
You do, though.
He gets out from under her and jumps over the desk, leaving it as the only thing between them.
It's okay to enjoy fighting, you know. Our human instinct is to survive. Fighting is a part of this.
We wouldn't need to fight if people would listen to reason.
Who are they going to listen to? They clearly aren't listening to you. And why would they listen to the girl who pretends to hate fighting and goes into the woods every night to hone her combat skills? Hypocrite!
Sky lunges over the desk and misses Caleb by inches. He rushes to the other side of the room. Sky picks up a few books that are around her and throws them at him.
You don't know anything about me.
You hate fighting, and you train yourself every night.
Sky jumps back over the desk. Caleb blocks her next punch as she twists around and puts him in a headlock.
When you get caught, you blame your past.
He flips her over his back and she lands with a thud. She gets up fast for someone who has just gotten the wind knocked out of
Well,
them.
that cute story you told me explains why you learned to fight. You have no explanation as to why you're still doing it.
She goes to punch him. He dodges her and spits it in her face.
You pretend to be strong. You pretend to hold your beliefs so passionately. But really, you're a coward. You're afraid to fight because you're afraid to lose.
Sky headbutts him and escapes the headlock he has her in. For an instant, the stage is flooded with red light, signifying blood dripping from Caleb's mouth. Sky kicks him in the stomach and he stumbles into the desk. He grabs an old letter opener and turns around. He swings at her. She dodges, but not quickly enough, and he scrapes her arm. Another flood of red from the stage lights. He swings again and she ducks out of the way and grabs his arm. She twists his arm and he drops the makeshift knife. Caleb pulls out of her grip and bends to pick up the letter opener. Sky grabs him. She goes to throw him off, but he twists away and throws her instead against a bookshelf. A few books tumble off the shelves. If one hits Sky, she doesn't notice. The letter opener is now on the floor between them. They both lunge for it. Caleb reaches it first as Sky kicks him in the face. He lands on his back. Before he can get up, Sky tries again to get the letter opener out of his hand. He manages to flip her over, and now he's straddling her, holding the letter opener against her throat.
Do it. Kill me.
Fuck.
Caleb throws the letter opener aside and gets off Sky.
Your threats are meaningless.
If I didn't grab the letter opener first, you would have killed me.
Yes.
Be the leader we need you to be. You're the only one who can do it. You can't talk of peace when it's so easy for you to kill.
Go bury your wife.
Oh, you're really going to choose selfishness over helping your people.
You've just proven that you're no help. Go bury your wife.
Fucking bitch.
He leaves.
What's more important? Protecting my morality or saving lives? What's the point of living when you're the only one left?
Sky picks up the history text she was reading before. She throws it into the fire. She picks up the letter opener and puts it in her pocket. Blackout.